All right, joining me right now is Chief Meteorologist Jonathan Porter. You know, it was this time yesterday, John, that the clarity started very late, let's say today's Thursday, Tuesday night into Wednesday, that this was coming up the coast. And then we really started to become concerned that this was going to be more than just a coastal storm.
That's right, Bernie. We've been calling it a tropical wind and rainstorm to highlight those impacts since Monday. And our team of 100 expert meteorologists here at AccuWeather decided that we had enough confidence that the storm was going to be coming up the coast. And this is going to be a major storm that's going to result in damage and significant damage in many spots as a result of coastal flooding. We think that's going to be the biggest issue with this because of that prolonged onshore flow during a time of unusually high tides anyway from an astronomical perspective. And Bernie, that's why we think that coastal flooding can be such a significant part of the story.
You know, you and I even debated, is this going to be a storm that can produce a lot of damage? And we both came up with yes, so we added that last bullet point, John, that it's early on, but it could produce billions of dollars in damage.
Could be one of the ways that this time period is remembered in terms of the storms along the East Coast. We're concerned about extensive damage to beaches, coastal homes, boardwalks, overwash on coastal roads. So if you live in a community both along the beach or also on the sound or bay sides of many of these communities, there can be serious coastal flooding there, and you want to be prepared to keep water as best you can out of your home or business.
It's not a tropical storm, so to speak, but it is tropical impacts, John. We usually draw these maps for tropical systems, but we'll draw them for winter storms, but we believe this will have the look and feel of a tropical storm.
It is right. Regardless of the designation, this storm may never get a name from the government, but it's going to look like a tropical storm in terms of the impacts. That's why we're calling it that way. We're doing that so that people are better informed and can be better prepared and take the actions that are required. There will be impacts and concerns from parts of southern New England all the way down to to portions of the South Carolina coast, but the area we're most concerned about is basically from portions of the New Jersey coast southward through the Delmarva down to the Outer Banks. This is the area where there can be several feet of storm surge in some areas, generally 1 to 3 feet, but there's going to be some 4, 5, or maybe even 6 foot of surge in some of these areas where those high tides correspond to the time periods where the storm is producing the most water level increase.
On the AccuWeather Real Impact Scale, not named, we're going with a 1.
And that's a big story, Bernie, because this is a storm that, as I mentioned, may never get a name, but it's going to be a 1 on AccuWeather's Real Impact Scale for hurricanes. And because we're talking about the risk for damage, some significant in some areas here as a result of that coastal flooding. There can also be localized power outages as well. And when you look at this, compare the Saffir-Simpson scale that other weather sources use, other meteorologists will likely have may not be rated there, but a 1 on AccuWeather's Real Impact Scale for hurricanes because of that damage risk and the threat that a storm that may never receive a name could produce billions of dollars in total damage and economic loss, a big storm along the East Coast.
All right, AccuWeather Chief Meteorologist Jonathan Porter. John, thanks for joining us here on AccuWeather Early.